Pleasant afternoon to all, to our professor, Dr. Mia Aho, and to my classmates. I am tasked to discuss together with my co-presenter, Ms. Jury Lu, the key issues in basic education in the Philippines, mainly in curriculum and instruction. COVID-19 has changed the landscape in basic education in the Philippines. It has faced challenges as distance education is implemented. This has become the current issue in our educational system in the Philippines. Basic education schools in the Philippines are scheduled to open on August 24, 2020, with a major difference. There will be no face-to-face classes in areas where COVID-19 pandemic infection rate is high and limited face-to-face classes elsewhere. That means that education services will take place in one of the four ways. Face to face, where students are allowed to attend school but in lesser class sizes to allow for physical distancing. Distance learning, children learning away from schools but connected to teachers either online through some form of social media app or through learning packets delivered to learners and used for remote learning. Next is blended learning, a combination of limited face-to-face and distance education where students do most of their work to learn on their own. And last, homeschooling, where the home is the place of learning and the parent is the teacher and the setup is independent of any school institution. Issues that needs to be addressed and overcome for distance education to be efficiently and effectively delivered. First is curriculum. While the subjects comprising a course is the same whether classes are face-to-face, remotely delivered, or through homeschooling, the curriculum, the method and practice of teaching is going to be different for each. Next is technology. The effectiveness of technology to deliver educational content and materials is important. Online learning will be through the use of laptop, tablets, desktops, and lessons and modules will be given through the different platforms. Even in face-to-face learning, the question of technology is already an issue as it revolves around how to engage students on their own learning and how much more in online. Preparedness of stakeholders for the new normal of distance education. How prepared are students, teachers, school administrators, and parents for distance learning? Distance learning will require different mindset for all stakeholders. For students, how will they cope up with longer periods of not being with their classmates for physical and social interaction? For teachers, how to manage the stress of teaching and preparation of modules. For parents, how to manage the additional new responsibility of children going to school at home. One critical concern to look out for in this new schooling environment is the mental health of teachers and students caused by anxiety. And lastly, for school administrators, the cost of technological upgrades, online platforms, and high-powered internet connections, as well as salaries and wages. Material resources. There will be a major shift in logistics for education as education services shift from classroom-based to distance learning, whether online or through learning packets. To prepare for this new normal, DepEd prepared a framework called Learning Continuity Plan, or LCP. This focuses on frameworks and structure, and it takes into consideration the school context and learners' context. School context is about the school status of teachers, the readiness of principals and supervisors to manage multiple learning delivery modalities, the availability of learning resources and materials, the teacher's readiness and capacity to facilitate multiple learning modalities. The learner's context is about students' capacity to complete self-directed learning tasks, their access to learning resources and technology, the support of parents at home and of their community, and the capacity to guide learners in understanding lessons delivered remotely. Now stems the current issues of distance learning. Distance learning is delivered through what is called a modular home study program. Not all learners are equipped for online learning. Not all learners and teachers have laptops, tablets, or desktops. A survey by DepEd nationwide on how best to deliver educational content revealed that more learners, 74%, expect to understand lessons using modules versus 58% for lessons done online. More households have television sets, which comprises 82.7%, than internet of 17.7%. The consideration then of DepEd was for low-tech, low-cost learning modalities that would promote inclusivity versus the digital divide. Then comes the issues in mobilization of the learning materials. The production and distribution of student learning packets will be a huge supply chain operation in every division or large school district. It is critical in terms of packet production, distribution, and retrieval. In summary, this new normal in distance education has brought about a number of issues and challenges in our educational system. First, this has been done both in public and private education system. If things do not work as efficiently as planned, the bottlenecks will stress parents, teachers, and students, and learning will suffer. Second, parents will have to play a bigger role in distance learning. Learners without supportive parents at home will be disadvantaged or even left out. Third, the supply chain concerns that will need constant fine-tuning, module development, quality assurance, reproduction of modules, preparation of learning packets, distribution of learning packets, done continuously every week of the school year requires huge budget and effort. Fourth, curriculum and instruction needs to be continually refined for distance learning. Time allotment of learning areas using the virtual classroom, and even the workload of teachers is still a great concern. Fifth, online technology concerns, of which poor internet connectivity and availability of gadget is also a problem. Thus, nothing about this new normal will be easy. There is no assurance that the current issues and concerns will be addressed. Right implementation will be crucial. Let me share with you the graphic data on enrollment for school year 2020-2021 of all the private basic education schools in Cagayan de Oro. In kindergarten, last 2019, there are 2,452 enrollees. Compared to this year, there are only 641. In elementary, grades 1 to 6, last 2019, there are 12,896 who enrolled compared to this year of only 4,110. For junior high school, for 2019, there are 11,630 compared to this year at 5,346. And for senior high school, there's 21,105 for 2019, and for this year, there are only 4,730. As you can see on the other graph, The main reason for the drop of enrollment in private basic education schools is due to the relatively huge number of students who transferred in public school. The sad reality that according to DepEd, 4 private schools had already closed its doors this school year. The main issue of very low enrollment and the pressure of all the requirements had taken its toll. For basic education schools to continue to operate will take a lot of courage and prayers that we will be able to get through with all these issues and challenges this pandemic has brought us. May God continue to bless us all.